People, 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 people. Que pasa, sac say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the meds. Call it news with a buzz. Hottest topic in the news is the thievery of 30 to 40 clients of SSL. Most significantly, Usain Bolt lost in excess of $12.75 million US dollars. That is a large sum. Now there's been a public outcry. Persons want to hear from the relevant authority, meaning Minister of Finance, Mr. Clark, Financial Services Commission, more specifically, the culprit themselves, the head of SSL, management, top management, not middle management, not bottom management, not the scapegoat, meaning Mrs. Panton. Most significantly, people want to hear from the Prime Minister, Holness. We heard from the Minister of Finance. He almost guaranteed that it is safe. The financial sector is safe. There's only a few bad apples. People, that is just mouth talk. Don't believe. The stream is more corrupt than just a few bad apples. We heard from the Financial Services Commission. It is because of their negligence why persons like SSL were allowed to operate and not properly monitored. So therefore, we have all sorts of thievery. Like I said, SSL is yet to have some sorts of words, some sorts of say. Silence usually means consent. They need to do damage control. However, the damage is pretty much done. We have not heard from our Prime Minister, Holness. However, Holness has a couple of questions to answer himself. Now, people, there was an article, a news broadcast that was aired in excess of 5 years ago. The name of that company, 18 Degrees North TV, they are on YouTube. You can check them out. The name of the video, Jamaica's Prime Minister Holness and his controversial big house. Remember, check them out on YouTube. This information is mostly coming from them. The reason why I am quoting from them, this lady is very credible. This lady works for a reputable news agency in America. It's called Bloomberg. Good reputation. She was asking a couple of questions and why this relates based on what is going on right now. Like I said, a couple of the relevant authorities said something. However, SSL has not said anything, and also Holness has not said anything. I am going to tell you the link and why both of them know, based on probably advice from their lawyer, keep quiet, don't say a word. In 2006, Holness was the Minister of Education. At that time, he was earning about $60,000 US in his portfolio as the Minister of Education. However, between 2011 to 2016, before the election in which he won, he bought a house in Beverly Hills. Well, not a house, a mansion. Not just any ordinary mansion. May I talk about MTV Cribs, a very humongous, expensive mansion. He claimed that the amount at that time was $500,000 US. That mansion was underestimated. That mansion, if you ask any sort of real estate expert, is going to be worth in excess of 2 million US dollars. That is a whopping 300 and something million Jamaican dollars. Remember, his salary at 2006 was 60,000 US dollars. However, when he was asked, when he was drilled by this journalist that did her homework, he said that the money came from investment in a company in St. Lucia named Admart or something like that. He was on the board of trustee along with his two sons. His two sons were younger than teenagers at the time. There was no sorts of information on what this company did, what they sold, what type of services they offered, whether this firm was lucrative, that means that it was making a profit, to finance a mansion in Beverly Hills. It is also determined that Mr. Andrew Holness said that the fund came from some sorts of investment, SSL. However, again, even though his answer was vague, there was not much detail. It seems as if the PNP dropped the ball once again. Them just take any sorts of answer. Them just accept any sorts of pill. However, people, you have to understand, when it comes to the PNP and the JLP, we are dealing with two peas in a pod. So therefore, when their time comes, if and when it comes again, and they should win, whenever they ask, they are also going to give a vague answer. So people, follow me. The investment in St. Lucia, don't know what they sell, don't know what type of service they offer. The investment at SSL local, don't know how much money he put in, don't know how much money he has in there or had at that time. There was no sorts of documentation, yet the PNP and the people just accept anything and swallow it like some sorts of big frisbee pill. However, there is more. The investigation that this company did, they realized that, hold on a minute, Andrew Holness also has some sorts of development, real estate development in Arcadia. Arcadia is uptown. I am speaking about a development of townhouse. People don't know if he owns one or if he owns the whole complex. It was not said. So therefore, two big time property. However, there was more. There was also a piece of property that was also in Beverly Hills. Him claims say it is valued at 15 million Jamaican. People, I am no real estate or land evaluator, but if you can get a nice prime property in a Beverly Hills for $15 million, call yourself lucky, call yourself grace, because it is amazing how you got that deal. So people, we are talking about 3 property. When Andrew Holness was asked, it does not seem patriotic. Why would you invest in St. Lucia and not Jamaica? He said that it is because the taxes are lower. That means that he would pay less taxes, less transfer fee. So people, your same politician that is advising you to be patriotic, don't run left Jamaica even when things get hard. He is doing the polar opposite. At that time in which that investigation was done, he owed taxes on all 3 property, the 2 house, one in a Beverly Hills and also the one in a Arcadia, and also the land. After the lady pressure him like cowfoot, he would then pay those taxes. People, do you see why this man is not saying anything? Do you see why SSL is not saying anything because they leave this lady out to dry. Not saying that she's not a pathological SERIAL thief. Me I talk about Miss Panton. However, the management of SSL, because they were doing very bad financially, them get desperate. They were making a whole bunch of desperate moves. It is also alleged that they were making all sorts of wrong moves. They were giving out loans to their cronies to build all sorts of development. People, you know see where I go on. You know see why there's so much silence by Andrew Holness. Him know say, listen, if him talk, people are going to put him out there to dry. So therefore, that is why they put Miss Panton out there to dry. Because SSL, they know that they were doing wrong. SSL, upper management, is more than likely liable for Usain Bolt and other clients. Mostly Usain Bolt being the top richest client that they probably have, more than likely. People, Jamaica needs to take a check. The people of Jamaica needs to take a check and realize, say, listen, not only these people in these financial institutions, also the politician, also the relevant authority. So therefore, you have the wolf, I watch the chicken cub, and then you have the fox, I watch the wolf, and then you have the hyena, them I watch everybody. People, when it comes to Jamaica, it is Alibaba and the 40 thief, or 4 gazillion thief. Point blank and period. Now when it comes to Andrew Holness, it got even deeper during this investigation that these people were doing. It is said that there was a man, his name is Robert Garvan. Robert Garvan was also a partner with Andrew Holness as it pertains to that property, not the mansion. He was the one that applied for all sorts of permit to build on that land. However, the permit was turned down. I think that they wanted to do some sorts of apartment complex. Mr. Robert Garvan is said that he was one of those persons or company that there was all sorts of controversy because he was issued all sorts of government contract through Andrew Holness. So people, we are talking about cronyism. We are speaking about a conflict of interest. We are speaking about corruption in its highest order. Now we see Andrew Holness entangled as it pertains to SSL. He is not saying anything because he does not want to step on the foot of his friends. He is no sorts of different. He needs to come out and say what is going on. He needs to give his peace. Let the people in Jamaica know what is the situation as it pertains to SSL. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like this, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Point blank and period.